because he broke something at an elite school. The principal made him stay and work as a janitor. On his first day, he saw the dance studio was packed. A girl was picking a dance partner. A lot of guys came to audition, but none of them worked out. Their moves weren't steady, and they couldn't lift her. The girl tried everyone. In the end, she rejected them all. The janitor had been watching from the side. Suddenly he walked over. He said he could try. The girl froze for a second. She thought he was joking. She didn't take him seriously at all. She even mocked him for not wanting to do janitor work. The janitor didn't explain. He turned around and started to leave, but the girl hesitated. Because no one else worked, she let him try. The janitor lifted her easily. That's when the girl realized he actually had some skills. It turned out he was already a dancer. Just a street dancer. The girl's name was Ella. She was desperate to find a partner, because her original partner got injured. The graduation competition was coming soon. She had no time to find someone new. After confirming Nick could do it, Ella immediately went to the principal. She wanted Nick as her partner. The principal refused right away. In his eyes, Nick was just a problem student, not someone who belonged in a dance academy. But Ella insisted. Time was running out, and there was no one else. In the end, the principal reluctantly agreed. They could start rehearsing the next afternoon. But Nick had one problem. Where was he going to get a dance outfit? The next day, he showed up wearing casual clothes. Ella didn't say much. Rehearsal started right away. She demonstrated the moves first, but Nick felt awkward. He was used to street dancing. Ballet moves felt strange to him. His moves were always a little off. Ella had a headache watching him. Right then her boyfriend showed up. The atmosphere got awkward fast. The two guys almost got into a fight. Ella quickly pulled them apart. The first rehearsal ended like that. Ella almost wanted to replace him, but she remembered what her mother said. If she failed this competition, she would have to give up dancing and go to a regular college. This was her last chance, so she had to keep training with Nick. The two of them were completely different. Nick grew up on the streets. Ella was a rich girl. Their lives were totally different. Ella's choreography was elegant. Nick thought it felt too stiff. Whenever Nick danced, his street style showed up. What Ella wanted was precision. They often got stuck, but as they kept practicing, things started getting better. Nick's movements became steadier. His ballet started to look decent. Ella even began laughing at his jokes. Their chemistry slowly improved. Just when training was getting smoother, a new problem appeared. One day, Nick's friend Jack came to see him. They were walking down the street. Suddenly they started talking about stealing cars. Jack's younger brother got curious. He wanted to try it. Jack didn't stop him. He even encouraged him. The kid had just touched the car door. The alarm went off immediately. He got scared and ran. Nick and Jack burst out laughing. To them, it was just a harmless prank. But because of this, Nick ended up being over an hour late. When he finally got to school, the dance studio was already taken. Ella had been waiting next door for a long time. She was furious. Nick just said something came up. Ella didn't accept that at all. She showed up on time every day. But Nick was always late. A simple apology wasn't enough. Nick didn't understand. In the end he just left quietly. The next day, Ella waited alone in the studio. She waited for a long time, but Nick didn't show up. Not until practice ended. Then she saw him. He was cleaning the floor. Nick said directly, rehearsal wasn't for him. He decided to quit. Ella was shocked and angry. Nick walked away after saying that. Just like that, it was over. Back at home, Ella's mother brought up the future again. She thought dancing had no future. College was the right path. The pressure piled up. Ella finally snapped. She said her partner had quit, and she couldn't compete anymore. Her mother was stunned. It was the first time she saw her daughter like this. From that moment on, Nick and Ella seemed to return to two different paths. A few days later, Nick was watching a game with Jack. Jack kept complaining about how bad the players were. Nick knew Jack was actually a great player. He casually said something. He told Jack to try out for the school team. Maybe he could make it, but Jack mocked him right away. He said Nick quits everything halfway. Nick went silent. Suddenly he realized maybe he had been running away all along. This time, he didn't want to do that anymore. The next day, Nick went to school. He found Ella and apologized. But Ella had been disappointed too many times. She didn't trust him easily anymore. Nick said he would prove himself. Ella gave him one condition. He had to take ballet class. That day, a strange scene appeared in the ballet studio. Nick was wearing tight practice clothes, standing among a group of little girls. It looked extremely awkward, but he finished the whole class. After seeing that, Ella finally forgave him. From that day on, Nick practiced seriously. He stopped just copying moves. He started understanding dance and added his own ideas. Their teamwork got smoother. Their chemistry grew stronger. Day by day, training got back on track. At that time, Ella took Nick somewhere. It was an abandoned factory by the sea. It was also where she usually practiced. It was very quiet. Almost no one knew about it. Under the sunset, Ella talked about dance with Nick for the first time. She had loved dancing since she was little, but her dream was not to stand on stage alone. She wanted to lead a group of dancers and create powerful group performances. While talking, they suddenly got inspired. The music started. They began to dance. Their moves became more natural, like they had been partners for years. That dance brought them closer. The next day, something new happened in the rehearsal room. Nick brought a group of dancers. He remembered Ella's group dance idea. Ella was surprised and excited. She immediately changed the choreography. The original duet turned into a big group dance. The performance suddenly felt bigger. The effect was even better than before. Everyone practiced together. The scene became more and more powerful. Nick and Ella's teamwork also became more mature. Even the principal who opposed them before was surprised after watching the rehearsal. He asked Ella why she changed the choreography. Ella said, "Many ideas came from Nick." Only then did the principal look at Nick seriously. He realized Nick had real talent. He even said, "With proper training, Nick might become a student here." Those words gave Nick a new idea for the first time. After rehearsal, he went to see the principal. He asked to transfer to the school, but the principal still refused. However, he gave Nick a chance. If Nick could prove he truly wanted to study dance, they could talk again. Those words gave Nick hope again. But on the other side, Ella faced another blow. She found out her boyfriend betrayed his partner and took credit for their choreography. Ella confronted him, but he didn't think it was a problem at all. Ella was completely disappointed. She broke up with him immediately and walked away. That night, there was a school party. Nick met her boyfriend's partner there. That's when he learned Ella had already broken up. Nick walked over and invited her to dance. The music started. They danced casually, nothing like their strict rehearsals. Ella saw a different side of Nick. Nick also realized Ella was actually very real. After the party, they walked to the beach. The night was quiet. They talked about their childhood. Nick said he never really dared to dream, because when you expect too much, losing it hurts more. But looking at Ella, for the first time he wanted to try seriously. From that day on, they officially became a couple. They were together almost every day, practicing dance, talking, rehearsing. Their dancing got smoother and smoother. But a new problem appeared again soon. One day, Jack came to the school. He stood outside the classroom and saw Nick dancing inside. Jack was surprised. The guy who used to run the streets with him was now in a dance studio. Actually, Jack had been waiting for Nick at the court for 2 hours. Nick never showed up, so he came to the school. After seeing that, Jack got angry. In his eyes, Nick abandoned his friends just for a rich girl. Nick tried to explain, but Jack wouldn't listen. They parted on bad terms. Their friendship cracked. Right then, something else happened. Ella's original partner returned. His foot had recovered. He said he was ready to perform again and continue dancing with Ella. Nick stood there, not knowing what to do. Ella was also conflicted. That guy was an official student. Nick was not. In the end, Ella chose her original partner. Nick felt like he was just a backup. They argued. Nick walked away. After that, Nick became quiet. Ella called him, but he didn't answer. Life seemed to go back to before. Then, another accident happened. During training, Ella's partner got injured again. The doctor didn't allow him to perform. Ella lost her partner again. The pressure kept building. In the end, she decided to give up the competition. She even planned to give up dancing. She handed her college application to her mother, ready to take another path. Her mother was surprised. That night, her mother talked to her. She said, watching her daughter dance on stage always made her happy. She wanted Ella to keep dancing. Her mother supported her finishing the final performance. Ella returned to the dance studio and started practicing alone. Meanwhile, Nick went to find Jack. He said he quit dancing and stopped contacting Ella. They went back to street life. One night, Nick and Jack went to a nightclub. There, Nick met someone from his old school. He heard some news. Ella's partner quit the performance again. Nick looked calm, but inside he started wavering. At that moment, Jack's younger brother suddenly showed up. Jack got nervous because their mother didn't allow him to be there. They quickly took him outside and told him to go home, but the kid didn't listen. He wandered around the street. Then he saw a gang leader's car. The driver stepped away for a moment. The kid jumped into the car and drove it away. A few minutes later, Nick was called by a friend. He saw the kid showing off the car. Nick and Jack recognized it immediately. It was the gang leader's car. They rushed over to stop him. Right then, gunshots rang out. The kid fell to the ground. Everything happened too fast. There was no time to react. The kid died on the spot. That moment changed everything. After the funeral, Nick and Jack sat on the court. They didn't talk for a long time. Finally, Jack spoke. He said his brother's death was his fault. He didn't want that kind of life anymore. He wanted to become better. Those words woke Nick up. He realized, if he didn't change, nothing in life would change. At that moment, Ella's graduation performance began. The theater was full. Many dance companies were there. Ella was ready to go on stage alone. Just as she was about to go out, Nick suddenly appeared. He ran backstage and apologized to Ella. He said he wanted to finish the performance together. At first Ella refused. Nick turned to leave, but Ella suddenly called him back. She asked Nick if he still remembered the steps. Nick nodded. The stage lights turned on. The curtain slowly rose. The music started. They walked onto the stage. The dance began. Ballet and street dance blended together. The moves became more and more amazing. The audience grew silent. Everyone was captivated. The final move landed. The whole theater erupted in applause. Their dance won over everyone. Nick's street style, Ella's ballet, two completely different styles, finally merged into one. With that dance, they created their own stage. And the story ends here.